In Veterans Voices tonight, the story of Army veteran Ed Roenicke, who was greeted by hundreds of well-wishers at Dollywood's Heart Song Resort on his 100th birthday yesterday.
You see some of that behind us right now. 6 on Your Side reporter Don Dare, himself a veteran, talked with Ed about his unique role of keeping the Army's wheels rolling during World War II.
Mr. Roenicke, yes, sir. It is so good to see you. What an honor to meet you.
State Representative Jeremy Faison presented an American flag that flew over the state capitol to World War II veteran Ed Roenicke in honor of the former corporal's 100th birthday. Ed was drafted at age 19. He had worked as a service station mechanic near Saginaw, Michigan before the war and later operated a garage. So the Army used his knowledge and skills of being able to fix things.
Tanks, we done artillery.
Big trucks?
Oh yeah, the 6x. And then we had tractors. That's my Jeep, but that's what it's called, a Partaker. It's the bigger one than the Jeep, but that was my truck there.
Side by side with fighting men who went to battle, Ed's army of men with the 126th Ordnance Company fought with tools and machinery. Without the aid of mechanics and the parts they carried, the Army's wheels would have ground to a stop.
Well, I just had a good support back of me working together, and it was a pleasure, but it was scary.
Basically, they were attached to the 9th Infantry Division of the 1st Army, and their job was to keep everything rolling, keep the weapons firing.
Aaron Swain is Ed's grandson. As a young man, Aaron listened to his grandfather's stories about different battle campaigns and what Ed's special unit did.
And they'd go out in the middle of the night or even during the day to find the parts needed to keep the tanks rolling, keep the weapons firing, and keep the gas in the vehicles, and did all they could to keep them rolling.
So he was a pretty brave guy.
Absolutely, yes.
That's the uniform Mr. Roenicke wore home in 1946. He still has the original ribbons presented to him. And here's a V-mail he sent to his mom and dad in December 1945. Ed married Esther in 1946. They were married for 58 years. It's the wartime snapshots that are priceless to Mr. Roenicke. When you see these pictures of these men.
Yeah. I had a baby brownie, and I took them pictures of the baby brownie. I got a lot of pictures.
What do you think when you see these guys?
I'd like to meet them all again. I was one of my sergeants. He was kind of a noisy guy, but he was a good guy.
I'm blessed and humbled that I get to have the honor of being the grandson of a man who was willing to give his life if necessary for the freedom of our nation.
What do you fondly remember about your time in the Army?
Driving my truck, the weapons carrier.
Ed Roenicke, World War II Army veteran, now 100 years old. Don Dare, 6 on Your Side.
Wow, that's a great story. First of all, happy birthday.
Yes, and thank you so much for your service.
Yeah, such a key role. Had to keep the troops moving.
So important.
That is for sure. Hey, if you know a veteran who should be recognized, take a moment, send Don an email at ddare@wate.com. You can also call him, 865-633-6923.